3.
Not just in our lives, but in leadership. I think it is a great moment for the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. It's appropriate that I acknowledge on behalf of from a national
That will be an indictment of the intelligence agencies as well as investigative agencies. Therefore, it is inconceivable that the threshold of the impeachment motion as defined in Article 145 of the Constitution can solely be based on the perception of the mover of the motion in the absence of any other evidence. I heard the mover this morning saying that all we need to do is to believe in him. I believe that cannot be the position. We need actual evidence against the Deputy President. The net effect of the impeachment of this basis of allegations of criminal offenses, whose evidence has not been tried and tested in court of law or by bodies mandated to investigate, would be to disqualify me from the possibility of holding public office in relation to Article 99(3) without the benefit of due process of law and exhaustion of the systems of appeal as provided in the Penal Code. Mr. Speaker, I do not wish to respond to the issues I had this morning that are outside the motion. I want to confirm that I have tremendous respect for Kenyan women, and I have never disrespected them. What has happened is that as politicians, there is always propaganda in somebody. I call upon anybody with evidence that I've ever disrespected that person to come out and provide that evidence. I had my very great friend, the Honorable Faith Gitau, say that I disrespect women. Many times I've been to Nyandarua. I've referred to Honorable Faith Gitau as Ngatha. Ngatha is a Kikuyu name for a woman of great respect. That I have done countless times is on video. Finally, the Honorable Bose Sholei, I heard what you said in Eldoret. I heard this morning that you said I should be charged with treason. But my sister, me, I'm a grateful man. I remember, and I'll never forget, during the last administration when I was arrested on fabricated charges for standing with the President William Ruto against the wish of the government at that time, Gladys Bosholai came and sat with me at DCI headquarters, brought me tea, brought me lunch, sat with me, comforted me. At court, she coordinated the collection of 12.5 billion shillings as my cash bail. She came to see me in Gigiri for 4 days and had very kind words for me. Despite what you have said, my sister, I do remember that one good thing that you did for me, and I'll love you and cherish you for the rest of my life. Finally, Mr. Speaker, as I wind up, I want to appeal to this Honorable House to consider the allegations against me by the mover of the motion, weigh it against the attached evidence, weigh it against my defense and the attachments and the videos that I've played in his house. And exercise your mind and exercise your discretion. Search your conscience and decide if Rigathi Gachagua is guilty of any of those allegations or is undergoing a political process. If you are so persuaded and you search your conscience without any intimidation or coercion or inducement, and you think is the right thing to do, please go ahead and do so. If you search your conscience and listen to the issues that have been adduced here, and you find that there are no grounds to impeach the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, please make the right decision. But as you do so, many members who are in this House remember what President William Ruto as Deputy President went through. And most of us stood with him. Rigathi Gachagua underwent 4 years of persecution. Others were persecuted. But we took a firm stand because we believed we were doing the right thing. His family underwent humiliation. Men, and on Inauguration Day, he pronounced himself that freedom is here. Again, under the new administration, the same Rigathi Gachagua, who underwent humiliation and persecution, finds himself in the same space under that administration that he fought for. Reflect decision, Mr. Speaker of the House. I want to thank you for granting me this opportunity. And my address last night was not in any way meant to disrespect the House. Despite, Mr. Speaker, you having ruled that the matter should not be taken out of the House, it was being discussed in every TV station, in every meeting across Kenya. And Kenyans did not have a chance to also hear my side of the story. So I decided, since the accusations against me were everywhere in the country, the people of Kenya, and more so those who voted for me and President William Ruto, deserved also to hear my side of the story. I have tremendous respect for the National Assembly and your ability and capacity to make the right decision. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Deputy President. Thank you very much, Deputy President. I'm sure your fears that you will not be heard fairly have been allayed. You've been heard in absolute silence. You've been heard with total decorum from the House. And members, I salute you for the display of your legislative maturity in giving an opportunity to a subject to a motion in the person of the Deputy President to be heard. What is it, Rosa? The proceedings are still going on. Who is praying? Yes, Senior Counsel. These proceedings are still going on.
Yes, indeed. Mr. Speaker, this is a House of Record, and I had wanted to rise under Standing Order 65, 67A, and 67B. Two of those points you've already covered, Mr. Speaker. It is important that the record reflects that although the standing orders do not require that we listen to the witness in silence, indeed we did.
Yes, absolutely.
Secondly, that there was compliance with the Standing Order 67B2 in giving the witness a maximum of 2 hours. But there's a third one, Mr. Speaker, which I think should go on record. Standing Order 67A also requires that the witness be entitled to appear in person or with counsel. I see that the witness has appeared with at least 3 counsel, all of whose names should come on record, so that the record shows that counsel were actually allowed to the chamber. I see my friend Advocate Ongoya, my friend Advocate Njiru, so that there is no incompleteness of the record. I beg, Mr. Speaker.
That is a fair comment. Counsel for the Deputy President, without making any unhelpful speeches, just put your names on record. I'm sure you have a team leader. The team leader will introduce himself and introduce his accompanying colleagues. Ongaya.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, sir, and thank you so much, honorable members. The team representing the Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, the Deputy President in these proceedings, is as follows. Honorable Paul Kibugi Mwite, Senior Counsel, Mr. Victor Swanya Ogeto. My name is Elisha Ongoya, Mr. George Sakimpa, Mr. Ndegwa Njiru, Mr. George Wandat Waigwa, Mr. Murigi Kamande, Mr. Amos Kisilu, Mr. Eric Kiprop Naibei, Miss Julia Omwamba, Mr. Tom Maina Masharia, Mr. Willis Echesa, and Mr. Andrew Muga. And that is all.
Thank you. And apart from the three of you, the rest are within the precincts of Parliament?
Are within the precincts of Parliament, save for Senior Counsel Paul Kibugi Mwite, who sought to be excused from attending today, but is part of this team, and we are under his supervision and guidance.
Thank you. From here, we'll proceed as follows. Deputy President, if you wish to leave, you are at liberty to do so with your team. Na mwengi Yes, Kaluma.
I thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, our prayer at the end says that we always be fair to those who are committed to our church. And Honorable Speaker, in his address to the House this afternoon, the Deputy President appears to have referred to some documents. I know we are moving towards this particular session in considering this matter. And Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you for upholding Article 47 of the Constitution on
And on that account, Mr. Speaker, because of misuse of public resources, he is impeachable on that account also, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to say this. When we gave ourselves the new constitution in 2010, we knew very well that we were coming from an era where we cannot impeach the president, we cannot impeach ministers, we cannot impeach the deputy president. Kenyans gave themselves the new constitution, and they put in there Article 150, knowing very well that one day they will hold their leaders, the president, the deputy president, accountable, Mr. Speaker. And they gave that mandate to this House, Mr. Speaker, and the Senate, Parliament in general, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was shocked under the public participation, people saying that Kufa Makanga, Kufa driver, Mr. Speaker. We cannot allow the driver to die because it is an issue. We are witnessing a situation where the Makanga wants to take the steering by force. And what happens after that? The driver, the driver, million Kenyans, Mr. Speaker. We cannot allow the driver to die because 55 million Kenyans are going to die with him. But the Makanga, who is just hanging at the door there of the matatu, can go, Mr. Speaker. If he misbehaves, Mr. Speaker. And, you know, if he's not doing his work properly, Mr. Speaker, because the Makanga is the one who should be telling the driver what to do. And they're telling us here, Kufa Makanga, Kufa driver. The petition of the driver is not with us in this parliament. The petition we have, the motion we have before us today is the motion of the Makanga. And we are going to deal with him perpendicularly and thoroughly, Mr. Speaker, this afternoon. Mr. Speaker, I want to tell the House that us, the people of the minority, the Azimio people, Mr. Speaker, we have lived like orphans in this country for the last 2 years. Why do I say so? Mr. Speaker, we are taxpayers. Some of the places that contribute to the highest taxes in this country are areas that are dominated by Azimio people. And then somebody comes here and tells me, you are not a shareholder, you're not going to get services, you're not going to get development. What the hell is that? What the hell is that? Does the taxes that are paid by the Azimio people count for nothing, Mr. Speaker? And it is coming from the high office of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is the time we are going to correct this thing so that it never happens again, so that we don't have another deputy president who comes later. Because when we impeach this one, another one is going to be appointed. This is a lesson to the next one. That if you misbehave, we will just take you through this Goleta, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to conclude by saying this. Let us not personalize offices. We don't have any ill will. We don't have any bad faith. We don't have anything that we are holding against the persona of Geoffrey Rigathi Gachagua, Mr. Speaker. We are dealing with the office of the Deputy President currently occupied by one Geoffrey Rigathi Gachagua, Mr. Speaker. The office holder. And let us not personalize. The office does not belong to him, does not belong to anybody. This is a constitutional office, and the Constitution has prescribed how to deal with you when you misbehave in that office, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, for Kenya to become cohesive, Rigathi must do what? Rigathi must? For Kenya to become cohesive.
Okay, give him 1 minute.
Mr. Speaker.
Give him 1 minute.
Mr. Speaker, I was telling members, for Kenya to unite, Rigathi must. For Kenya to prosper, Rigathi must. For Kenya to have unity, Rigathi must. For shareholding to end in Kenya, Rigathi must. For us to have a peaceful country, Rigathi must. Thank you very much. That is the mood, and that is what how we are going to do.
Thank you, Kimani Ichung'wah.
Thank you for this opportunity. The Honorable Ekomas Mutuse, the member for Kibwezi West, approached me with the impeachment motion. Honorable Speaker, I took some time not just to go through the grounds that he had stipulated for the impeachment of the Deputy President, but also to reflect on what Honorable Mutuse was asking me, not just as a member of parliament for Kikuyu and leader of majority party in this house to do, but also took time to reflect and ask the Almighty God to guide me and give me wisdom to do the right thing. I pray to God that the Almighty God may give me wisdom to do that which is right. And not just what is right, Honorable Speaker, but also what is just. Just to the outgoing Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, but also just, more importantly, just to the people of Kenya who turned out in their numbers in 2022 to vote in a government that they believed would create cohesion and unity and offer them opportunities to excel and prosper as a people. Honorable Speaker, as I prayed for wisdom, I was also conscious that what is right is not always easy. And what is right is not always popular. And being a son of the mountain, representing people of the Mount Kenya region, Honorable Speaker, it was clear to me that what may be popular today may not be right. And that is why I asked God to give me the wisdom to do that what is right, Honorable Speaker. And I am here today to do what is right for the people of Kenya. I am here to do what is right, not just for the people of Mount Kenya. I am here to do what is right for the greater good of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Speaker. And that is why I rise to support this impeachment motion. Honorable Speaker, having listened to Honorable Mutuse and all the grounds, and having looked at the Constitution, Honorable Speaker, and I would beg for us to look at Article 150 on the removal of our Deputy President, the reasons as to why you may remove a deputy president from office. The first one is on the ground of physical or mental incapacity to perform the functions of that office. We have no capacity to determine the physical and mental capacity of the deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua. But on impeachment as a second ground, the first ground is on the ground of a gross violation of a provision of this constitution or any other law. The question that begs is whether one Rigathi Geoffrey Gachagua has contravened or has grossly violated one provision of our constitution. And I think the Honorable Ekomas Mutuse was able to demonstrate this morning that Rigathi Gachagua has violated not one, but over 8 provisions of our constitution, which I agree with the Honorable Mutuse. And for that reason, Rigathi Gachagua impeached today. The second ground, Honorable Speaker, is where there are serious reasons. And Senior Counsel Otiende Amolo went to great length this morning to explain what serious, when you believe that the Deputy President has committed a crime under national or international law. Honorable Speaker, behind the veneer of humility that you have seen here this evening, behind the veneer of humility that Kenyans saw on national TVs on Sunday, is a dark face of violence. Is a dark face, Honorable Speaker, that is a great